Everybody, everybody, rock your body. Back streets back. All right, all right.
It's a good song.
It is. I don't like that many boy band songs, but that's one I like.
More Fishman.
Fishman, get! I like Fishman. He's a man of fish. He's a man of simple fish. Shrimp gumbo. Shrimp cocktail. I don't know why that took me to Forrest Gump, but it did.
On this island due east of here. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's talking about the Goron trading side quest. That's the only thing I need to do with the guide, because I can't remember where everything is, and I refuse to make a wrong trade. Because it's a waste of time to make a wrong trade. And there goes some treasure, which I don't really care for right now. Because reasons.
But we're doing side quests with not a lot needing to explain.
Right.
With not a lot needing to be explained.
There you go. But, back to story time.
Story time!
So, we're going to go with my most recent Halloween, which involved Everclear. The problem is, when I decided to drink the Everclear, I was already very, very drunk, and I'm of legal drinking age.
John is 21.
I'm 22.
He's 22. I'm still 20. I'm like a few months off from being 21. John's like a year and a half older than me.
So, me and my friend, Chris, we're like, man, we're going to take it light on meals today, because we want to be able to get... One, there's going to be a ton of food there.
That island looks like a kidney.
Yep. And two, we want to get shwasted. So, we expected to be at the Halloween party like 6:30. And, like, we had mentally incorporated, like, taking an extra half hour because his girlfriend and a guy we know, Zach, his wife, were getting ready. So, we did, like, mentally accommodate for an extra half hour, 45 minutes.
And it's not like the stereotype of, like, women take forever, but it's more like they were getting a fucking Halloween costume ready.
Yeah, it took time. The problem is that it took a lot of time. We didn't leave until 8:15. So we were both really hungry at that point. And we were both really mad. So we both wanted to get really fucked up. So, I'm pretty decent with a shaker, so I made shots as soon as we got there. And I used 50% Captain Morgan to make those shots. And they're called liquid marijuana. Those of you over the age of 21, I recommend making yourself a liquid marijuana. It is sweet and delicious.
And it has no marijuana in it.
No marijuana. Okay. If you find one that has marijuana in it, that is the wrong recipe. Do not drink it. That is still technically illegal.
Unless you're in Colorado, Oregon, Washington, I think.
I think maybe California too, I can't remember.
California if you have a card.
Right. So,
which you can get the card for fucking headaches. You could go up to there and be like, hey, I get headaches sometimes. Here's a fucking weed card.
So, being said...
You know.
That being said, no marijuana in those. So, they were very strong shots too, because I was using stronger alcohol.
What's in a liquid marijuana, just for those who don't know?
Captain Morgan, white Captain Morgan, blue Curaçao, and Midori. And the Midori is where it's really green color, and
which
the blue Curaçao gives it that...
the name comes from.
Yep, and the blue Curaçao gives it like a very bright neon color. And then there's just a little bit of pineapple juice and sweet and sour to make it sweet. With a slight kick.
Right. So,
it also makes a damn good drink. You make the shot, and then you pretty much fill in the spacer with 7-Up. So, we started the night off with several of those, and they made Jello shots, and they put the Jello shots in syringes, like an evil doctor's lab, kind of thing.
Because it's kind of cool.
It was great for Halloween.
Yeah.
And
be weird any other day of the year.
And the problem is with this story is that we had
no food in your stomach, which is not what you're supposed to do when you drink.
Yep. So we drank first, then we ate, and
what you're supposed to do.
There's something they made called Schweddies. So they slow cooked little smokies in a slow cooker, and normally, yeah, the alcohol's gonna cook out.
Wait. So they slow cooked a little smoky in a slow cooker?
Yes. Drop it.
I'm just an asshole like that.
I know. So, they were very alcoholic foods because the alcohol didn't cook away. So,
Because you have to know what you're doing if you're cooking with alcohol if you don't want alcoholic content.
they did want alcoholic content is the problem.
So, they did it wrong.
They did
On
it-
purpose, though.
Yes, but they were delicious. And they made
So-
buffalo chicken pasta, which had no alcohol in it, which was delicious. And we broke out Everclear, which is pure alcohol.
In case you didn't know, in an emergency, Everclear has such a high alcohol content that you could use it as jet fuel.
It's terrible. And we poured an entire fifth of liter in a bowl. We tried chilling with ice, which melted immediately because it's alcohol. And then we added... Oh, here we go. Here's a fun battle.
Oh, you're fighting a squid now.
I am indeed. And we added enough fruit punch to make it red.
Just make it red.
Yeah,
It was glorified food coloring.
it was, yes, because believe it or not, it tasted like pure alcohol. There was no change in flavor. So, Chris and I got really fucked up, and we had a shot. And we took another shot within the same hour because we're idiots and we were drunk.
Drunk people are not the best people for when it comes to making decisions.
No.
Which, unfortunately, sometimes those decisions include, should I have more alcohol?
Yep, and the idea was, at that point, yes, for some reason.
Oh, I know. I've had a mixed drink that had two types of rum in it.
Yep. 2 different shots. I've already had like 1 or 2 Mike's Hard Lemonades at that point, which are delicious and dangerous because they're delicious.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I decided to chase the Everclear with like 3 or 4 syringes of Jello shot. Both times. It was great until the morning.
Until a few hours later when everything hits you.
Oh my god, my head
And you
hurts.
resumed having
The thing is,
feelings.
if you're gonna have Everclear, you take the shot and you don't drink anything else. Because you will be hammered...
Except water.
Except water.
Your magic power is double.
Yes, it is.
Sweet. I was wondering if that was going to get you.
Double magic.
Yeah.
So I woke up with one hell of a hangover. That was a nightmare. But the entire night was fun, at least.
Yeah.
And, oh my god. I was ironically dressed up as a bartender.
See, and I know myself well enough to know that I get addicted to things pretty easily. I know that I have certain problems like that. So I don't allow myself to have certain things, because I know that it would become a problem in my life. These include most illegal drugs, credit cards. And so, I have had a little bit of alcohol in my life. I am under 21, but it was a very small amount in a very protected situation. Just so that way,
Alcohol's legal in your own home as long as you have adult supervision.
not in Wyoming.
Not in Wyoming?
Not in Wyoming.
No.
Yeah, we're in Wyoming, by the way. Technically, it's illegal in Wyoming, even under the protection of the home. But in case you're wondering, I had like half a shot of vodka mixed with an entire can of soda. And the one thing I learned from that, mostly, is that my face got warm, my dick got hard, and you are supposed to stir alcoholic beverages as you are drinking them for a very obvious reason. Because I fucking start this shit. It took me 2 hours to drink this thing. I drink a fucking cup of soda over the course of 2 hours, basically. And I get the fucking first drink, and it's like, oh, it was a fucking, what's it called? It was a ginger ale that I had because I didn't have any other soda in the house, because I don't really drink soda that often, because I have a high enough diabetes risk that I only occasionally drink soda. So that was the only soda in the house, and it was in there because my mom likes ginger ale. So I stole one of her ginger ales, and she didn't fucking notice. And it was just to learn. I wasn't drinking like a full thing of vodka. I was just figuring out what it was like to be drunk and learning some information before I did so in a less protected environment. Which I personally think is okay. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think I'm irresponsible for that one, but...
No, irresponsible would have been saying, I'm going to drink this entire bottle of vodka by myself.
Which, technically, I stole the bottle of vodka because I used to work in hotel room service and someone left an entire bottle of vodka in their room.
That's their fault.
Unopened. So it's my vodka now. Usually I just gave away anything I found in the rooms unless it happened to be cash, in which case I assumed that was my tip. I was like, oh, you left $5 here? I'm going to assume this is a tip for having cleaned your room in the first place. But, I did that. And my first drink was perfectly fine. I was like, oh, there's a little bit of a bite to this, but, you know, I can deal with it. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all.
You ended up having a full shot
And
of
towards
vodka.
the fucking end, because I didn't know to fucking stir it, because although it's obvious to me now, hindsight is a fucking bitch, and it didn't occur to me that the heavier liquid would go to the bottom. Have you ever had the sour Altoids?
No.
They used to make these raspberry sours. Like, they had sours in a bunch of flavors. There were tangerine sours, which were the best fucking thing on earth, and they don't make them anymore, and it upsets me. And one of the flavors they had was raspberry, which hurt to eat. And, like, the last fucking drink of this shit tasted like fucking raspberry sour Altoids.
Whoa.
And you know how fucking strong Altoids are, right?
Yep.
That's literally their fucking tagline, is that they're powerful mints.
Yeah.
And so, of course, when they made a sour candy, it was powerfully sour. And then it was fucking raspberry for some reason, because when you think sour foods, you think raspberry. I don't know. They had a lime and a tangerine was amazing. The tangerine flavor of Altoid Sours was worth fucking like $10 a box. Like, holy shit, it was good. But, and so I get that, and it's like, ha,
Well,
ha,
I do that every time. Well, not
Ha-
every time.
ha.
But,
But I was just doing it so I could learn more about alcohol within a very reasonable and very boxed location where I couldn't do anything stupid. I didn't have access to any sort of knives. I didn't have access to YouTube at the time, or at least not access to video camera software at the time, because I knew that I didn't want to do something like that at the time. I basically just blocked myself out from anything that could be a serious problem under the circumstances, and then took a half a shot of vodka with some ginger ale.
we're going to go back to the Halloween party, because
Right.
there's a gentleman that showed up later. One of the women that was preparing with Chris's girlfriend, he finally, her husband finally showed up. Good guy. Except he thought, man, I really need to play catch up. So we had 2 full cups of the Hawaiian Punch Everclear mixture. He just downed it. Like, he slammed it back, both cups. And it hit him really hard on the way home later because he threw up. Just all over the street. I didn't throw up until the next morning, and at that point it was just like bile. My stomach's going like, hey, you're not okay.
You fucked up here.
I did. I had to sleep that one off. Although, one of my favorite alcohol combinations, which is probably one of the best ways to drink alcohol, is Gatorade and any flavor of Smirnoff. Like, doing fruit punch Gatorade, or like their fruit punch Smirnoff and berry flavored Gatorade is amazing. It tastes delicious, and you're mixing it with a hydrating drink that isn't water or soda. Well,
Soda
so it's
isn't
not-
hydrating.
I goofed. I did not mean to say that.
What'd you mean to say there?
Water, or another beverage like soda.
Soda will dehydrate you, actually.
Right.
If you're in a situation in which you're suffering hydration problems, soda will make it worse. Which is why when I actually stopped drinking soda, there were like a few days in which I felt like shit because I didn't have the caffeine that my body was used to having an obscene amount of. Because, fun fact, if you regularly take in a chemical like that, your body stops producing it because, like, I don't need to. So I didn't have any fucking caffeine in my system for a few days.
So I was like, I can
So I
be
was
lazy.
fucking just out most of the time. But then once I got used to it, I felt so much fucking better. Like, I felt like I could run. I felt like I could walk. I felt like I could think once I was off of soda compared to water. I just felt good. Exercising didn't feel like a chore. It felt like a thing that normal people should do.
I just drink a lot of water and a lot of soda.
Uh,
But my body can take a lot more abuse than yours can.
I also have such a high chance of diabetes that if I'm not careful, I will fuck myself over before I hit 21. That's the truth here. Because your chance goes up by 30% if you have a family member that has diabetes. And then because I'm native Canadian, my chance is increased by another 40%.
There we go.
So that means that in my lifetime, I have a 70% chance of getting diabetes. That's not a win, or that's not an if, that's a win.
Well, my grandfather had type 2 diabetes, and that mostly streams from the fact that he had to jump out of a train car prior to its collision. and he was stuck in the hospital a lot. And the hospital was pretty negligent with some of his care. So he ended up with diabetes because the hospital was terrible. And going through all the treatments took such a heavy toll on his body that his pancreas just said, fuck this.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything bad about the majority of doctors, but some hospitals just shouldn't be.
The problem is that it was one in the Denver one. So there was no excuse for it.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that he ended up getting a staph infection because he couldn't make it to the bathroom because he couldn't walk because he just had back surgery. And he pressed the nurse button and no nurse showed up for 2 hours. So poop got into the wound on his back. And he had a really bad staph infection. And they had to vacuum out all the infected material like every day. He had to be on heavy antibiotics again. I have 99 arrows, and it was...
And a bitch ain't one. Yeah. I don't want to say terrible things about most hospitals, because most hospitals are good. Hospitals?
Hospitals.
Hospitals?
Hostels.
Hospitals. Most hospitals are good. Most of them are people who want to do good. Unfortunately, that can't be everyone.
Right.
Statistically not... What are you doing?
Jumping back and forth. Because, I don't know. But we're going to have to discuss... we're going to have to discuss why Fairy should replace hospitals on the next episode.